Imagine this, my friend. Let's start with a bold assumption. Assume that now isn't the now you think it is. Assume your name is, whatever, let's pick one. Frank. You wake up. But this waking isn't like your alarm going off. You don't open your eyes, because you don't have eyelids. You don't stretch, because you can't feel a single finger. You feel yourself floating. No, rolling. Like a bowling ball hurled into space, spinning at 1,000,000 miles an hour in a boundless, pitch black. Nothing at all. The void. Absolute nothing. The weirdest part is, your mind is crystal clear. You remember yesterday at 5:30 p.m., you bought that half-off tub of vanilla milk at the supermarket. You remember the guy ahead of you wearing a t-shirt that said, "I'm not procrastinating, I'm on a strategic pause." You remember the barista you've had a crush on for 3 months finally smiling at you this morning, with, a tiny bit of spinach on her tooth. You even angrily remember just how bad the last season of Game of Thrones was. That cursed ending. See? Your memories, your experiences, your joy and rage and sorrow, all there. But you can't see the milk. You can't touch the t-shirt. You can't even smell that spinach. There is nothing around you. No stars, no light, no up or down. Only a kind of, how to say, like the hiss of TV static from an old set, that shhhh, cosmic noise. Then, a thought even scarier than no body goes by you, straight into Frank's head. Did I just get born? Did I appear only half a second ago? Then where did the milk, the barista, and that awful finale in my head come from? And you get it. They were pre-installed. Like a new laptop with the OS already there before the first boot. You, Frank, are a thing that shipped from the factory with yesterday's memories. Don't laugh, friend. Welcome to the Boltzmann Brain Club. What you, poor Frank, just experienced is the universe's top-shelf existential horror flick. It's the sinkhole dug for us by a 19th century physics giant, Ludwig Boltzmann. Boltzmann and his crew were probing deep questions about the nature of our universe. They found the loophole. Put simply, by the laws of probability, in a big enough, no, unimaginably vast, space, and given unlimited time. You know it, given eternity, anything can happen. Like a monkey hammering a typewriter forever, sooner or later it will type Hamlet. The universe is that monkey. In heat death, when everything is stone cold and nothing happens, it just fluctuates at random. In plain language, it rolls the dice. Roll. Pop, a hydrogen atom. Roll. Pop, a stone. Roll for billions upon billions upon billions of years, insert n more billions. Pop. It rolls out, a complete brain. Yes, a brain. Not grown, popped. From nothing. And this brain is fully formed. Worst of all, it comes with a full memory pack. It may believe it's named Frank. It may believe it bought milk yesterday. It may believe it lives on a blue planet called Earth. But in reality, it's just floating in the void, a bodiless loner. A byproduct of random chaos. It briefly becomes aware, I exist. I remember. And then, poof, like a soap bubble, disappears back into nothing. That's the Boltzmann brain, an instant hallucination. If you enjoy this kind of cosmic scale brain twister in my storytelling, well, you know content is hard to make. I'm here wearing down my tongue so I can give your brain a different kind of fluctuation. Creation is not easy. Your precious like and subscribe are the only fuel that lets me keep going crazy. Keep exploring. Tap like, and our story will drift a little longer in this universe. Back to poor Frank. Frank drifts there and starts to panic. He tries to scream, but he has no mouth. He tries to pinch himself to prove it's a dream, but he has no hands. He clings to his memories, the spinach smile, the tub of milk. And finds something worse. His memories are dissolving. Like a fresh inkjet print you pick up before it's dry, the image smears, runs, blends into a mess. The more he tries to hold the barista's face, the more it warps into a blob of cosmic static. Frank, his personality, his history, his self, is being erased. Because they were wet to begin with. Fake to begin with. They were only temporary files used to boot up this brain. Boot complete, delete the temp files. Which brings us to our core question. If a continuous universe like ours, and a lone brain like Frank, can both pop out of randomness. How does Frank prove he isn't Frank? Or put differently, how do you prove to me that you aren't the next Frank? Let's leave poor Frank on pause. He's got nowhere to go. Maybe he's been reabsorbed into static. Maybe he still believes he just bought milk. Not important. You are. You sit at your screen. You touch your face, warm. You look at your hands, time to trim your nails. You hear my voice, okay, this guy is chatty. You feel real. So why do top, Nobel-level brains spend decades messing with a ghost like Frank, something that sounds like drunk philosophizing? Are they crazy? No. They're just a bit more awake than we are. Boltzmann brains aren't outdated. They share a mother with the social anxieties you and I have now. Worried AI can write a paper better than you and take your job? Worried we live in a simulation? Yes, Elon, looking at you. Worried you're an imposter, that your degree, your partner, your success are all a con, and one day you'll be unmasked? The Boltzmann brain turns that anxiety up to cosmic. It says, what you worry about is cute. You're not unworthy of your achievements, you never owned them. You won't be replaced by AI, you already are random noise. You don't live in the Matrix, that's too luxurious. At least they built VATs, plugged you in, ran a whole mother system. So much electricity. The Boltzmann logic says, the universe doesn't care. The universe is a world-class slacker. New section, physics time. Don't panic. No equations, just a story. There's a word in physics, entropy. Entropy sounds fancy. It just means degree of disorder. The overall trend of the universe is rising entropy. Translation, the universe wants to lie flat. You clean your room, low entropy, order. A week later it's messy again, high entropy, disorder. You didn't have to work to make it messy. It goes there on its own. Same for the universe. From the hot, ordered Big Bang, it expands and cools, the end goal is to lie flat. That final, ultimate state is heat death. Picture it, every star gone dark, energy evenly smeared out, absolute silence, temperature near absolute zero. No light, no heat, no motion. No meaning. Everything is dead, uniform, boring, eternal nothing. Depressing? Wait. Here's where Boltzmann's punchline begins. The universe is dead. But let it lie still long enough and it twitches. Like a sleeping body's random jerk. In physics, that twitch is a quantum fluctuation. In a dead universe, energy averages to zero. Not perfectly zero, on average. It jitters around that baseline. Jitter, an electron pops out. Jitter, a photon. Then poof, they annihilate and vanish. Given infinite time in a dead universe, these jitters happen infinitely often. Now the key question. If it can jitter out an electron, can it jitter out you? In principle, yes. But what's more probable, rolling the dice for one electron, or for you, a mind-bogglingly complex arrangement of atoms? Obviously the electron. So the lazy universe would rather jitter a trillion electrons a trillion times than jitter one complete you. Pause. Feeling safer? See, making me is too hard. So I must be real, not a fluctuation. You're celebrating too soon. Here's the nasty twist. We admit, jittering out a full you, with body, mortgage, and cat, is insanely unlikely. And not just you, we'd need to jitter out Earth under your feet. The sun that lights Earth. Our whole galaxy. In the 13.8 billion year history from the Big Bang, to quarks, to stars, to dinosaurs, to your mom giving birth to you. That entire bundle, a continuous, historical, massive universe. The complexity, the difficulty, the tiny probability are astronomical squared, cubed, to no way. The universe slacker looks at that family bucket order and says, are you kidding? I'm lying down here. Build all that? It prefers a shortcut. The shortcut is Frank. The lone, floating brain. Yes, a brain is complex, tens of billions of neurons. But compared to a whole universe? It's simpler by orders upon orders of magnitude. Cheaper. Easier to jitter out. If the universe only needs a conscious observer, why build all the stage props, galaxy, sun, Earth, you? Just build the observer, the brain. As for memories? Even easier. Pre-install them. Jitter a brain, then with one flick jitter in the 13.8 billion year cosmic history plus your bought milk yesterday data pack. That is much easier than evolving 13.8 billion years and building a real dairy plant. Okay, logic map time for my J-Mind friends. Buckle up, next stop, existential crisis. If our cosmic model, heat-death universe, is right, then the endgame is a dead, lazy universe. In that death, only random fluctuations happen. Simpler fluctuations, a lone brain, a BB, occur far more often than insanely complex ones, an entire universe like ours. How much more often? Not twice. Not 100 times. So much more that it might as well be infinite times more. Meaning, in the cosmic ledger, Boltzmann brains will vastly outnumber real brains like ours. Conclusion. If you wake up and find yourself conscious, then, by probability, you are a Boltzmann brain. With a likelihood that's almost 100%. Still there? Starting to doubt yourself? If physics rules us out, what's the point? Shut the video and dissolve into nothing? Don't. If you treat this only as physics, you lose. You fall into Frank's pit. The best value of this thought experiment isn't physics, it's psychology. New section. From the cosmic court to the core of the mind. In my view, the Boltzmann brain paradox is the ultimate metaphor for trust. I call it the courtroom of memory. Picture this. You're in the defendant's box. The judge is your rational mind. The prosecution is cold universal probability, Boltzmann's logic. The prosecutor points at you and booms. Your Honor. I accuse the defendant, you, of existential fraud. She doesn't truly exist. Gavel, order. Prosecution, your evidence. A smirk, the evidence is, the defendant has no evidence. You panic. I do. I have evidence, my memories. You present your exhibits. Exhibit A, I remember my 5th birthday. Dad bought me a red tricycle. I fell and scraped my knee. Exhibit B, I remember my first heartbreak. I cried all night under the covers. The sky collapsed. Exhibit C, I clearly remember buying that half-off vanilla milk yesterday afternoon. You dump your entire past on the bench. See? Isn't that enough? I remember, therefore I am. Silence. Then the prosecution strolls up, lifts the 5th birthday photo. Objection, Your Honor. Grounds? These are forged. They turn to the jury, your fears. Ladies and gentlemen, the defendant claims to remember, but how does he prove his memories are genuine? How does he prove that photo wasn't photoshopped and implanted 0.5 seconds ago? How does he prove that shattering breakup isn't a prefabricated backstory? How does he prove the vanilla milk isn't a default value loaded at boot? Your Honor. Every piece of evidence comes from the defendant himself. Circular reasoning. Inadmissible. You slump. Because, he's right. You can't clear your name. You cannot step outside your brain to verify your memories. Yourself, your history, your identity all rest on a single assumption, that your memories are true. The Boltzmann brain yanks that assumption away. Let's leave the courtroom and breathe. Why does this metaphor sting, especially for modern people? Ever had this moment? Not déjà vu. It's opposite, jamais vu. You stare at something most familiar, your daily keyboard, your partner's face, your own face in the mirror. You look, and suddenly it feels alien. Reason says, that's my wife/husband/me. But your gut screams, who is that? Reality drops out. Or you open a diary from 10 or 15 years ago. You read the cringy, overwrought lines and think, did I write this? What was I thinking? I don't recognize this person. See? We already doubt our memories. We know they lie, fade, distort. The Boltzmann brain pushes that uncertainty to a physical extreme. It doesn't say your memories are unreliable, old news. It says your memories have no author. It says, you might not be the one who wrote the diary. You might not be the one who experienced the heartbreak. You might just be the diary itself. You might just be the feeling of sadness itself. Like a wisp of smoke. Does smoke exist? Sure. It has a shape, say, the memory of buying milk. But was it lit by a real fire, or real past? Boltzmann's prosecutor says, no. It just fluctuated into being. It drifted by, it was noticed. And then it dispersed. It's suffocating, isn't it? We're locked in our own courtroom. We're accused, and our only evidence, memory, is ruled fake. We can't take the stand. We can't appeal. So, how do we overturn the verdict? How do we save Frank? He's floating in the void. The milk, the smile, the awful finale, all dissolving. He starts to accept it. He's nothing but a cosmic sneeze. Random. Disposable. Meaningless. He lets go. At the exact moment he lets go. Right as he's about to melt back into static. Something new appears. Something not in his memories. A sound. No, he has no ears. A signal. A single beep. Frank freezes. This beep wasn't in the factory settings. Not milk, not spinach. It's new. Beep. Beep. The signal is rhythmic. It doesn't feel random. It feels like a heartbeat. Frank, the brain, musters everything and opens the eyes he doesn't have. He sees. Not the void. He sees data. Like the Matrix, green waterfalls of code. They stream through his awareness. Then, a voice. Brand new, cold, neither male nor female. Mechanical, Sim Subject 734, experiencing Boltzmann panic. Consciousness baseline, severe deviation. Prepare to reset, simulation. Reset? Frank tries to shout. Bang! He wakes. This time, for real. He smells disinfectant. He feels smooth, cold plastic pressing against his back. He opens his eyes. Light, harsh white fluorescence. He wiggles his fingers. He has fingers. He touches his face. Skin. Warmth. He sits up. He's in a medical pod. Tubes in his body. He got out. He's not a Boltzmann brain. He's a person living in a simulation. He won. He flips the prosecutor the bird. You think the story ends here? You forgot it's a horror story. Frank stands on the cold floor. He looks at his very real hands. He touches a very real wall. He breathes very real air. Then, the scariest thought. Again. Bayou, right into his new head. Wait. If that lonely brain back there was random. Then to stop itself from dissolving. To comfort itself. Could it have jittered, a more complex illusion? This medical pod, this simulation, this escape. Could it be the second-layer dream that lonely brain invented for itself? Am I still there? Frank looks at his hands. And he will never, ever be sure again. Frank's story ends. He broke out, at the price of his sanity. He swapped one doubt for another, eternal doubt. The prosecutor, Boltzmann logic, is still cocky. By probability, you're fake. Fine. Now it's our turn to counterattack. Here are 3 keys. They're what serious physicists and philosophers use to pry open this logical prison. Key 1, the brain contradicts itself. I call this the drunkard's key. The prosecution says the universe jittered a brain. A random brain. Okay. What should the thoughts of a random brain be like? Random. It should think, purple, banana. Tuesday. Dad's tractor. Garbage. Its thoughts should be chaos. So how on earth could it sit there, without a but, and think coherently? Step 1. The universe is infinite. Step 2. Entropy increases. Step 3. Therefore, oh no. I'm a Boltzmann brain. See the absurdity? A genuine Boltzmann brain couldn't realize it's a Boltzmann brain. Its hardware, randomly assembled, and software, logical reasoning, don't match. A random brain can't produce non-random, coherent, logical thought. Therefore, you, yes you, because you're understanding my words right now. That act of understanding itself is evidence your brain isn't random. Boom. First lock open. Key 2, if the map drives you into a wall, the map is wrong. How did we conjure this monster? With a model. We assumed a cosmic model, say, heat death or eternal inflation. We ran the model, crunched numbers. And God, oops, the model predicts people like us shouldn't exist, BBs should vastly outnumber us. Friend. When your map, your model, points at the spot where you stand, and tells you, you are not here. Is it you that's wrong? Or the map? It's the map. In science, this is reductio ad absurdum. If your theory predicts that the theorist is an infinitesimal hallucination, your theory just committed suicide. It logically self-destructed. This isn't our crisis, it's the model's crisis. It suggests our assumptions about the universe, like simple heat death, are likely wrong. Maybe we live in a younger, livelier, less lazy cosmos. Boom. Second lock open. Key 3, open your eyes. My favorite, also the simplest. I call it the look out the window key. What does BB theory predict? A universe full of lonely, random, short-lived brains, or other simple fluctuations. Right? That's its prediction. Okay. Now, look out the window. What do you see? Lonely brains drifting in the sky? The void? No. You see the moon. You see stars. Through telescopes you see galaxies. You see an incredibly structured, unbelievably old, 13.8 billion year universe. You see overwhelming continuity all around you. Gravity worked yesterday, it works today. Thermodynamics worked yesterday, it works today. All our evidence, everything we can observe, points to a complex, coherent, historical reality. BB theory predicts simplicity, rupture, no history, hallucination. So, do you want to believe a theory with zero observational support? Or what you can directly see, crushing, overwhelming evidence? My friend, the prosecutor lost. He lost to reality. Boom. Third lock open. All 3 keys are yours. Frank's escape led to a psychological cul-de-sac. Our escape is a logical victory. The courtroom, the prosecutor, they're overruled. You are real. Feeling better? Ready to close the video and go buy your vanilla milk? Don't. We're not done. We won. We showed we're not BBs. But, so what? If all we did was negate the most absurd possibility, then what? What is the Boltzmann brain really for? Just physicists' dark humor? Just my scare tool? No. Behind this cosmic joke sits a real gift. The gift is, by using the most extreme scenario, the Boltzmann brain helps us reverse engineer the definition of reality. What the hell reality actually is. Before, we assumed reality just means objectively there. Then BB jumps out and says, hey! You might be random. We panic about our origin. We fear we aren't born of parents or evolution but of randomness. But the BB ghost forces us to think from another angle. Maybe the bottom line of reality isn't where you come from, origin, but whether you are coherent. Compare. Why is the BB terrifying? Because it's broken. It has the effect, the memory of buying milk. But no cause, no actual trip to the store. Its last second and next second have nothing to do with each other. Its memory and its existence are disconnected. It's 100% effect. 0% cause. A logical orphan. Now look at you. What is most fundamental about our world? Cause and effect. You plant a seed today, cause. Water it, care for it, coherent actions. And in a month it sprouts, effect. You believe in that process. You fought yesterday, cause. You feel awful today, effect. You decide to apologize tomorrow, a new cause shaped by yesterday and today. This chain. Yesterday connecting to today. Today to tomorrow. Cause birthing effect. Effect becoming the next cause. That chain is reality. So to me, the Boltzmann brain isn't a threat. It's quality control. A litmus test. The universe presses that BB ghost against our world and asks, are you coherent? Do you have causality? Does your yesterday explain your today? In our world, everything right in front of us answers loudly. Yes. My gravity is coherent. My physical laws are coherent. My memories of yesterday and my actions today are coherent. Stamp, quality passed. This thought experiment didn't steal our reality. It made it more precious. It says real isn't a state, it's a process. Real is coherent cause and effect. Real is living inside a story. Not floating inside random words. So, friend, to wrap up, next time, late at night, when you start doubting life again, when you ask, am I fake? Am I ABB? Don't ask that dumb question. It's been answered. Ask a better one. Am I coherent? Am I living inside cause and effect? Am I a person with a story? If you can love. If you can hate. If you can expect tomorrow's sunrise, even when today is dark. If you can regret yesterday's mistake. Congratulations. You're not a lonely brain. You are embedded in time and causality. A living story. Your reality, quality approved. So, are you listening to this story? Or, are you the story itself? Tell us your frank moment in the comments. Tell us what makes you feel real. See you next time, if causality permits.